Now watch this. The Bible says in Ephesians, now listen, that the body grows up into the head as each speaks the truth in love, as each does its part in love. And so the Bible says that you can bring change. You can grow someone up in their Christianity. You can bring a transformation to someone if you speak the truth in love, if you make it about them. You see, you can address the same issues in your spouse, in your children, in your children's children, in your employees, and those in ministry under you, in your brothers and sisters, and the people. You can address them for you or for them. But the Bible says that the transformation and change comes when the truth is spoken in love, when it's for their sake. And so sometimes, oftentimes, you may find yourself having to set yourself aside. You don't dare say a thing until you've gone and prayed and you laid yourself aside and you focused on them and you look at them and so when you approach them, you're coming to them for their sake. And as a result, you stay plugged into the kingdom in 2016. You see, if you're hollering, if you're fussing, and you're angry, and you're impatient, it is an indication that you have come unplugged from the kingdom, and your surroundings will reflect it. Your ministry will reflect it. Your family's welfare will reflect it. Your business will reflect it. All things pertaining to you will reflect that you come unplugged from your power source. And sometimes it's a bit insidious because sometimes the power source acts much like that of a cell phone. You see, when you first unplug, everything is okay. But slowly you begin to lose your charge. And this is what happens. And so you lose track of what happened where. And some of you will freak out and try to make spiritual corrections. You're trying to tithe and trying to be obedient. And no. You just come unplugged. That's all. You go back into the kingdom and you make it about them. You make it about others. You begin to pray for them fervently. Begin to pray for them for their sake and not for yours. Wife, you are angry with your husband and you are trying to believe God for his change, that he'd be a better husband and a better father. But most of that is for your sake. You see? Wife or husband, you're praying that your wife be nicer to you. You're praying that your wife give more of herself to you. Guess what? That prayer is not for her, it's for you. There's a reason that she can't be there for you. And wife, there's a reason that he can't be there for you. But if you're so preoccupied with your own will, with your own wants, with your own needs, you'll miss the flow of 2016. You begin to pray for them. What's happening between you and your spouse, what is happening between you and your children is an indication of what's happening between them and God. And you begin to pray for them. You begin to focus on them. And in a minute, after a minute of praying, you can begin to see them and to see what's going on. And most oftentimes, it will have absolutely nothing to do about you, even though your needs didn't get met by them. Even though their actions or lack of actions affected you, it was never about you. It rarely is. It's mostly about them. And so you pray, you set yourself aside, you plug into the kingdom, you plug into 2016 and the impartation there, and you focus on them. And the Lord will give you the grace to minister the truth in a way that brings transformation so that they grow up into the head. So that they grow up into the head. So they grow up into Christ. So they become better people. So they become stronger Christians. So they become stronger employees. So they become stronger friends and spouses and fathers and mothers and children. Because you plugged in and you made it about them. You know it can be so difficult because the thing can just rub you the wrong way. The thing can offend you, can anger you. You feel the rejection or the lack of consideration or the lack of respect. And if you're not careful, it'll be very easy to make it about yourself. And you'll do so at the expense 2016.